Good afternoon and welcome into the WBAY newsroom and to our First Alert Fastcast this afternoon. I'm Chris Roth, and as we interrupt local news live and tell you what we're working on locally, and of course the big story now developing is a big snowstorm coming, and this is no April Fool's joke. Let's take a look at our Skycam out in Appleton if we can bring this up for you. And yep, see? No joke, people, and it's going to get a whole lot worse, so we're told. So let's bring in meteorologist Keith Gibson right away and find out what the very latest is on what is coming our way on April 2nd. Opening day, by the way, baseball, Keith. Opening day in Milwaukee. Good thing they're going to have a roof.
All I can say is that the folks in Milwaukee had the foresight to put a roof on their stadium 20 plus years ago here in the north. And they were wise to do that. Every other stadium in the north does not have a dome outside of Seattle. So yes, we have snow on the way. Let's go ahead and check out First Alert Viper Max. Now, this band of moisture has been moving into northeastern Wisconsin. Temperatures are still well above freezing. We're not really seeing any sizable issues out there, but there is some snow developing, some wet snow. It looks pretty. There still could be a couple of slushy inches between now and tomorrow morning, depending on if this band lingers and becomes heavier at some point, but just nuisance amounts of snow possible that could accumulate in the near term. So we're in the mid to upper 30s, low 40s, a little bit colder where the snow is falling. But Chris, I want to show you the bigger view. We have a developing area of low pressure that is down in the Kansas City area, and that is lifting our way, and that is going to be moving into West Michigan tomorrow night and on Wednesday. We are actually going to be in the prime zone for some snowfall around here. But in the near term, 30s tonight into tomorrow, that is going to be cold enough to support some snow. Over time, though, Chris, by tomorrow afternoon and evening, that snow is going to start to accumulate. So the current thinking now for folks wondering how much snow are we actually going to get out of this thing? This would be for Tuesday afternoon, tomorrow night, and the Wednesday. I've got a range out from the valley to the lakeshore, anywhere from about 5 to 15 inches, if not more. Now, that's an incredible amount of snow. This is going to be heavy and wet snow, but it's not all going to stick at one time because it's going to be a long duration event. Keep that in mind. And we will be above freezing for most of this event. So this is going to be initially falling tomorrow and melting and gradually accumulating on the grassier surfaces. But it's going to start to really impact some travel, I think, going into tomorrow night and Wednesday morning once we get past sunset tomorrow and we get down to around 33 degrees. And teaming up with the snow, Chris, will be wind gusts that could be 40 to 50 here tomorrow night and Wednesday morning. So we will have some wind-driven snow. It's going to be heavy and wet. Some of us could see over a foot. Now, not everyone will, but over time, this is going to add up, I think, even on some of the road surfaces. So, but it's going to compress a little bit, Chris. So it's not going to be like a full-on 1 to 2 feet accumulation in your backyard, but I tell you what, this is going to be a sloppy mess.
It's going to be heavy, too, like you said, to move it. So everybody do their stretches before tomorrow. So, Keith, thanks so much. We know you got a lot to do today in advance of this. We appreciate it.
Yeah, you bet.
We'll see you coming up at 4 o'clock. All right, let's take a look at what else is happening. And speaking of roads and travel, right, I-41, the expansion project beginning today, and a twist for drivers here on April Fool's Day, but get used to it. It's going to be around for a while. The DOT, remember, told us last week the most noticeable inconvenience on day one would be the work on the Capitol Drive overpass, and that is now closed. I-41 still travels underneath that. That's still open for this part of the project, but you're going to want to be cautious because they're occasionally going to have to close I-41 at night, so your detour for that is going to be Wisconsin and Richmond Avenues. Tonight, northbound 114 and County JJ interchange, that'll be closed from 10 to 4:30 in the morning. DOT says, buckle up, it's going to be a while. This is a 5-year process. Also today, Republican State Representative John Mocco announcing in a statement that he will not seek re-election in the 88th District. Mocco has served in Madison for the last decade. Let's bring this up. We want to tell you about this. Here it is. Governor Evers signing Wisconsin Act 218 into law at the Appleton Fire Department last week. Now, this law allows tactical emergency medical service personnel, they're also known as TEMS, to carry firearms while in the line of duty in places where firearms are not allowed. So the Appleton Fire Department, they've been a leader in developing TEMS teams, working with the SWAT team in Appleton and eventually others. Their workload has increased from about 5 calls per year to now about 80 to 90 calls per year. And a member of the department was the driving force behind this bill. He actually helped write this legislation that you see right there. And he's going to visit with us today on Action 2 News at 4:30. Very interesting conversation talking about what this would mean in case we saw, for example, an active school shooting situation in our area, or how it would have changed things for EMS personnel during that Fox River Mall shooting a couple of years ago. So that conversation coming up today at 4:30. Let's bring this back up, and we will tell you that we will see you again coming up tonight on Action 2 News at 4, 4:35, and 6 o'clock. Until then, we'll get you up to date on anything that happens online at WBAY.com. And we will see you back here this evening. Thanks for tuning in to our Fastcast. We will return you now to Local News Live, and we'll see you later on this afternoon.